Hello and welcome to the second of our sessions of Blades in the Dark, Neo Shinobi Vendetta. This is a hack written by Sherry Stewart, which has taken a concept that I created and has adapted it over to this Blade system, which I've run quite a bit of. Our PCs are anime cyber ninjas in a kind of a weird Neo Kyoto, strange, massive mega city, and they are part of these one of these ninja clans, the Igana, and they have discovered that in fact things are not as they seem. That what the clan believes is the mission of the shinobi of the ninja is in fact not, and that someone has corrupted these ninja clans, and that our handful of PCs and a few others know the truth and are working behind the scenes to uncover how this happened and figure out a way to fix it. So they have to hide from their own people, even as they're carrying out missions for their clan, which means that unlike Blades, which has a heat mechanic, we have a suspicion mechanic, and we deal in secrets rather than coin. All of those are sort of factors that go into this game. So one of the things I did, and I'm going to talk a little logistics for our players right now. You'll hear me go into that. Oh, by the way, this is Gauntlet Hangouts. This is an online gaming community. It's pretty cool. It's still pretty cool. And we have a blog. We've got multiple podcasts. We've got a forum. And we have a ton of games online. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. Hey, and if you like wushu stuff and PBTA, which has nothing to do with what we're playing right now, you should check out the Kickstarter for my game, which is going to be next week, Hearts of Wulin, which is Wulin melodrama. So nothing like this. We're going to go with that. So I went through and I put check boxes in across the board on the character sheets to make it a little bit easier. Just to point out a couple things under the friends there at the bottom. The one in red is your enemy or rival, and the other one is your friend. I think those are the big things that I changed. Let me see if I made any other adjustments there. Oh, I also fixed the experience boxes for each ability there. So you'll see up near source, weaken, and strike, those three things, that those are check boxes that you put XP into. When you fill like all the boxes in strike up, you then get to add a box to one of your skills under strike. I'm going to keep using the word skills. That's not what the game uses. There we go. So those are the big things there. I want to give you just so we're not going to go through the XP questions. We'll go through them at the end of the session. But for last time, I'm going to give you 4 XP, and you can put that wherever you want. You can put that for playbook advancement. You can put that on one of your 3 abilities. Playbook advancement takes 8 ticks. It's an 8-tick clock. And source, strike, and weaken all take 6 ticks on those. So feel free to distribute those. Before I go too much further, I do want to check in. And if you've had a chance to think about last week's session, is everyone happy with the abilities that they chose? Fraser, are you cool with what you picked?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The subdermal plating, true. Okay. I just want to make sure. What about you, Owen? Are you good with your pick?
Oh, yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying what I picked, so yes.
Okay. Peter?
I think after realizing what I actually picked last time, I would like to switch my roll ability.
Sure, absolutely. What do you want to take?
I think, yeah, I think I'm actually going to switch to shiny things.
Okay. That is a cute one.
Well, I figure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll lean into the long-term project when we get to the downtime actions here. And Darren, how about you?
I'm good to go.
Okay. Let's go over then. That should be enough we've got on our characters right now. I want to move over to the cell tab, if you would. We'll move over to that. So the cell tab has a number of things. I want to walk through this sheet here. I want to start with sort of the big left-hand column. We have your heat, which can go up all those boxes. When all those boxes on heat fill, then we put a tick in one of those suspicion boxes. That's your wanted level in this game. That will never go down once that hits that top. Once you get one box of suspicion, it will stay. Your secrets there, that's your vault for storing essentially data away. The secure sites are an advance you can take to carry more stuff around. Down here, this grid is what are called claims in Blades in the Dark. We're calling them that. There you can do missions to try and take them. In most cases, where it says like edge, those are areas that you have competency in, like you have people who work for you in them, who are assisting you in them. And the more of those you have, the easier it is for your cell to get larger. Then for the various claims that you'll see there, a lot of those are about getting a particular person, turned within that group, like a mission planner or a lore keeper or so on. At the start of the game, you're going to get to pick one of those. The group is going to get to pick one to start. And then you're also going to start with a special ability for the crew. There are those in that middle column there. You'll get to pick one of those. And there's some cool ones there. And you can see down below, there's a little check boxes for cell advancement. And what gets you XP for your cell. You guys will start with a contact, which will have you pick. And then all of these boxes that say cell upgrades, we see there. And then there's layer, and there's quality and training and all of that stuff. You're going to get to pick 4 of those boxes. So I'm going to when we go around to there, I'll have everybody pick one. These are special things that your group already has. Like you have cool motorbikes all the time that you can ride around in. Those are pretty sweet. So, but we'll come back to that. You'll notice at the top, I've also written in these boxes for Gambits. Gambits is a mechanic taken from Scum and Villainy. What it is when you make a risky roll and you roll a 6 or a critical success, you get a Gambit. We mark it there. Later on, anyone from the group can spend a Gambit to give themselves an extra die on a roll. So it starts at 0 each session, but it can build up, and it's a way of giving you a group resource. So let's start with the question of special abilities. Why don't all of you take a look at that and see if, kind of looking through there if there's any of those that like really appeal to you, like you feel strongly about. Fraser,
Um,
what do you think?
I don't have a particular preference. Maybe well, synchronized is always nice when you're doing group action stuff, but all of them are pretty cool. If anyone has something they're super into, I'm cool.
Owen, thoughts?
Well, with my character source and all that, I personally like the idea of meta network because it might not only be my voice coming through.
Okay, I like that. Peter?
I was genuinely going to say meta network. So totally agreed there because information is key, and I think being able to spread it amongst ourselves covertly is going to be an asset.
And the ability to use teamwork, regardless of distance, is actually really nice. It's a substantial benefit. Darren, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna argue for like prepared or specialist, maybe a soft suggestion of discipline, but I suppose teamwork, despite the distance, would be good too.
Well, how about we say meta network, and then when we come around to choosing special abilities, the next time you get an advance, we'll look to you and Fraser.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll take meta network as your pick there. You get to start with one of these claims, and you can take any one of the 4 claims that are adjacent to your main cell, which is 2 different edges. What that does is, again, it makes it easier as you get rep to advance. Or a mission planner who gives you an extra engagement die for a particular kind of mission. You'll choose which type of mission that is. Or a lore keeper who gives you additional coin/secrets for a certain type of mission. Let's since we had Owen and Peter kind of made the decision on the last one, let's Fraser, Darren, strong feelings either on any of those?
I think Darren should pick so that way I get cool bikes.
Wow. Wait, weren't you gonna have us all pick one claim?
Everyone will get one of those picks,
Yeah.
yes. Off the advances, the upgrade ones.
So you can have your bikes regardless. Despite my feelings about the special abilities, I think we should go with Lore Keeper for more.
Okay. All right. So we're going to put Lore Keeper. Now, here's the question then. This one I'll put in Fraser's hands. There are 5 mission types that your group can specialize in. PsyOps, which, is about turning, conversion, creating paranoia, destroying people's reputation, professional gaslighting. Sabotage, which is breaking shit. Extraction, which is both getting people out and stealing things. Assassination, which is as written on the label. And then espionage, which includes observation, bodyguarding, counter-espionage, pursuit, negotiation, dead drops, all that kind of thing. Do you have a strong feeling about which kind of mission your cell would specialize in?
I'd like to hear from everyone on that one because it seems like a big decision. So I guess it depends on what kind of fiction everybody wants to steer it towards. And I'm into, well, for me,
are there any that you wouldn't? And you're going to be able to mix this up. Like you can choose other advances that cover different mission types. So it doesn't feel like you are absolutely driven to this.
Right. And this is presumably something we'd want to maximize for a mission that we could see ourselves spending more assets on, potentially, right?
That's correct.
So,
are there any that you don't want? Like
probably,
you look at them and you're like, eh.
Probably sabotage is pretty mad to me.
Okay. So with the remaining 4, Owen, strong feelings. Let's get your input, and we'll kind of tally this.
I want to avoid the deep ops doppelganger, but I'm good with
that's off the table. So
okay, cool.
that's
Cool.
for NPCs only.
All right. Okay, in that case, I'm leaning towards psyops.
Okay.
I think that'll be a lot of fun with this group.
Oops. Peter?
I was gonna go with either psyops or extraction. So I'm good with psyops.
Extraction. Darren?
I want to steal stuff or kill people.
So you're leaning towards extraction
Yeah, or assassination.
or assassination. So Fraser, we've got a couple psyops, we've got a couple extraction, we've got an assassination. So espionage is off the table. What do you think?
Okay, so the most that we have is the extraction and the psyops.
Yep.
Out of those two, I think extraction interests me more.
Okay. It's certainly more combination of hard and soft skills in some ways. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, and plus, I have some wild ideas about how to get people out, and it's gonna cost some secrets.
Okay. Plus 2 secrets for extraction missions. So you guys did very well. You didn't do like any major problems with that last mission. So everybody on your sheet, you can mark 1 secret for yourselves, and I'm going to put 4 secrets in the vault. And then we're going to come down and we're going to look at our cell upgrades. Most of these are, Fraser took bikes. So you have some sweet rides wherever you go. Sweet Akira style motorbikes. They are awesome because normally you would be able to get them. Yeah, so cohorts are agents of a particular type. Rigging increases the load that you automatically get. Yokai favors means essentially robo monsters that help you. A mobile safe house is that. And bikes have been taken. The only other one I want to mention to clarify, the training pick. If you take that as one of those, it means when you train with that in downtime, you get 2 XP instead of 1 for that thing. To get that mastery, which is the one that goes for playbooks, takes 2 picks to actually take that one. So any thoughts?
I'm feeling like we need a safe house.
Okay. So you have a full safe house offsite that is off the grid from the clan. They don't know about it. You've got pathways to get to it. Allows you to meet completely safe. Yes, it has a swim up bar. And we'll talk about the decorations that are there. Peter?
So what is the specific difference in these trainings?
Oh, sure. So these ought to be, actually, if we go back over here, I should have written it as a source, weaken, and strike is what they should actually say there. Let me redo that.
Okay.
So normally when you train during downtime, you can mark 1 XP in one of those areas on that line of 6 boxes.
Yeah.
If you take this, then when you go to do that training, you get to mark 2 boxes.
Great.
So it doubles the effectiveness of that.
Cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and pick source training.
Source training. All right. And Darren.
Okay, well, I really want a cohort of doppelgangers. Is that just available, or is it? Do I
Yeah,
have, okay,
absolutely.
great. That's what I want. I want little shadows.
Yep. So these are deep ops people.
Mhm.
That what they know how to do is essentially duplicate other people, take their identity, assume their identity, or just pretend to be their friends, their old high school buddies and whatnot, and get in amongst their lives. So yeah. Now we'll choose the edges and flaws later, but you get to choose what source they have.
Oh.
And to remind you, the sources are Nanoswarm, Psychic, Genocolony, Mimetic Overlay, Cybernetics, and Chi Field.
Yeah, I want them to be psychic. I have
Okay,
a
so you
squad of
have
psychic doppelgangers. Well, we do.
so you have a cohort of psychic doppelgangers here. Okay, quality 1 because you're tier 1. Okay, all right. The last question I have before I'm gonna let this all go. I'm gonna put some ticks in cell advancement for you, all of you. You got 4 ticks in the XP for that. Who is your contact? Who is your person that you're like that with outside and can get you what you want?
It's gotta be the kami. That's the whole god.
Okay. So there is essentially the kami again are artificial intelligence nanoswarms that have ascended and taken on these godlike roles. So tell me something about Katsumi Lost then, your kami, Darren.
Oh, well, with a name like Katsumi Lost, I feel like Katsumi is the kami of I want it to be really poetic. It's the kami of like it's the kami of shadows cast by people standing in the doorway. Mainly. Also maybe like, general secrets, misplaced items.
Okay.
Lost wedding rings.
And lost items. So silhouettes and lost items. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our characters. Yes.
Really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So I figure this is a good time to during that segue. I've actually gone ahead after rereading my role abilities. I'm going to stick with calculating.
Okay.
And that is my final answer.
That is my final answer. That is fine. I will check in with you next time, too. So don't worry. Everyone, we're going to go back to your character sheets. Everyone, you get an additional skill box. Your GM is just going to give you another skill box because the designer, the hacker of the game said they don't have enough skill boxes, and I said, okay, you're the designer. So you can thank Sherry for the skill box that she is giving you freely right now. And we're going to go through the downtime actions and check in on those. Downtime includes, of course, clearing stress and the various other options there. So I'm going to start with you, Fraser. Where's your stress level? Are you pretty good?
I'm pretty stressed at 4 is pretty high.
Okay. So you have 2 downtime actions. You can always spend a secret to get an additional downtime action. So what do you want to do for your first downtime action?
I want to relieve stress.
Okay. So you're going to indulge your vice. And what is your vice again?
It's luxury, finding rare pieces of history and keeping it from the damn corpse.
Okay. So we see you going out and hunting in the black markets, trying to find things, putting yourself kind of in risky situations there.
Yes, very risky.
So I think your lowest attribute is 2 dice, because you've got 2 dice in source and 2 dice in weaken, right?
Yep.
So you will roll those.
Oh, do we? Where's the?
Here, I'll put it in the.
Vigorously. Okay. Magenta dice, don't fail me now. 2 dice, reroll. I got a 5. I overindulged. Oh no, wait.
So-
No, I guess it loaded slowly, and I got a 1 and a 2.
Oh, that's bizarre. Yeah. So you're going to heal 2. Yeah. Last roll is a 3.
Yeah. And then, I could. Is this one of the actions I could spend a secret to increase the result?
Well, that's a good. It's been a while since. Let me
I
quickly
think
look
you
at
can
that.
do
I
it.
think you can.
I think with every downtime action you can, right? If I
Yeah.
recall. Which would put me at. Oh, it'd only be 1 more stress though, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so maybe not. It'd be better to. Oh, I guess both are a little chancy. If I spent a secret after my second one to do it again, I
Yeah.
would need to roll a 1 or a 2.
Well, here's the thing: it's actually what it increased the result level by 1 for each coin spent. So 1 to 3 result becomes a 4 or a 5.
Oh, okay. So I could do. Yeah, I'll do that then. That sounds good.
Spend that secret, take it to a 4, and clear all your stress.
Boom. Secret.
Okay. We'll come back to you and check what your other downtime action is going to be here in a bit. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. And then let's come to Anubis. Anubis, you're doing okay, right? You only get 2 stress.
Yeah, I'm not worrying about that. Anubis is
Okay.
less stressed than I am. So
So your choices are then you can acquire an asset, which means that essentially you acquire temporary use of an asset. We roll your tier, which is a 1, to see the quality of it. And you don't have to define what the asset is. You can define it on the fly later.
okay.
Long-term project is if you're doing like deep investigations or setting something up or things like that. That's what the long-term project is used for. Recovery is your healing. Reducing heat is how you reduce heat on the crew, aka the cell. And then training is marking XP. So what do you want for your first downtime action?
I think I'm going to just acquire an asset for whatever we do next.
Okay, so roll me a d6.
Mhm. And that's a 4.
That is a 4. So that will get you equal to your tier. So you will have a tier 1 asset. You can write that under sort of the notes thing, that first column on a character sheet.
All right.
That brings us to you, Peter. How are you doing? Ooh, you probably need to indulge, don't you?
I do. I am, as they say in these days, stressed the F out.
Yes. So you're going to roll me 2 dice
Okay.
to indulge vice. Tell me what your vice is.
Oh yeah. So my vice is specifically in pleasure. I choose to make visceral memories that are mine and no one else's.
And is it purely pleasures of the flesh, or is it a varied thing? What do you imagine that as?
I think it's a varied thing. I think it depends on sort of what he's most recently had to deal with, and then sort of going for the opposite of that to kind of take the edge off.
So what would that be?
Well, so I think so much of this previous mission for him was like this technical, really like extremely meticulous and thought out. Like there were a couple near misses that he had to like really kind of dive into, and then he made it out pretty unscathed. So I think right now it's pretty physical. It's, desires of the flesh and such.
All right. So go ahead and roll 2 dice. 2 dice being your lowest of the 3 types there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just roll these. I rolled 2 2s.
2 2s. So you will reduce your stress by just 2 points.
Okay. So I know I also have so I took calculating this time. So I would for when I have my next downtime action, I'd like to give myself +1
Okay.
downtime
Well, let's
action.
go ahead and have you resolve the vice then right now if you want. If you're going to use
Okay.
that.
Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and roll again.
Yeah.
Wait, can I help you?
I rolled a 5.
So that's perfect. So you're completely clear your stress. Just right on the nose. Right on the nose.
Woo! I'm not even stressed.
And actually, yeah, you can help people with indulging vice. That is a thing in the game, which always
All
seems
right.
weird to me. But
Cool. Cool. I will keep that in mind in the future. But for now, I'm stress-free.
yeah, except you get to describe how you're helping them with their vice, which
I had a very good.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, next time I will make sure to be extra stressed just so I need help.
Bashi, our Kitsune, what is going to be your downtime action? Here, your first one here.
Well, I was really trying to think of a long-term project to start. A little bit. I don't know if there is one that I really can think of right now. So I think I have to wait.
Do you want to try to turn Tekla?
Wow. Just offer me the world, you know. Oh man. That's really good. Yeah, I do.
That's his friend from Deep Ops.
Yeah, that's really good. I got a whole new deep ops cell. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So that will be an 8-segment clock on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call it Tekla.
How am I going about calling Tekla? We said that Tekla is like in between assignments, right?
Right. At some point, she's going to be sent out again. You've been removed from Deep Ops, so you don't have to go for years at a time. But soon, unless something changes, she's going to be sent down.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to. I want to use insinuate, and I think it looks like me. Maybe we're hanging out normally, or as we like usually do, right? We go to the bar, we do some shots. Maybe I like ply her with some of that good old world sake. And I want to make the suggestions. I want to incept it.
Yeah. So you're starting to plant the seeds of doubt.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Then let's have you roll 2 dice for your insinuate.
Yeah. Reroll. That's a 6.
That is a 6, so that is going to be 3 segments on the clock there. How does that work?
Or you can spend your secret.
I know, and this is a good one to spend it on a 6, make it even better.
Yeah, that would be a critical, and it'd be 5 segments.
Yeah, I should do that. I said I bought old world sake, so I gotta live my truth. Okay, secret spent.
So this is what you specialize in.
Yeah.
You specialize in being a subtle manipulator, and you use those skills that you have been trained in by the clan to begin to undermine your friend's faith in the institutions that she's grown up with.
Man, I'm sure I've told Cypher about this because I think that this is going to weigh heavily on me as I'm manipulating my friends, even for the greater good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, the question is, did you tell Cypher when he was Cypher?
What? When are you not Cypher sometimes?
There's a lot of info that kind of overlays in my brain.
Overlays? I mean, I don't
know.
I would have
Well, no. It was more of a rhetorical question. I just wanted to put that out there for ooh, because I'm weird.
Stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope I told you. I'm trying to like bare my soul here.
Yeah, no, you told me. For all intents and purposes, you told me. I just like planting seeds of doubt.
Great.
So what do you think for you then, Bashi? What is the like? Is there a sign that you've gotten to, or either here or in her later behavior?
Yeah, for sure. It is. I think. I think we see Tekla in this montage. I think we see Tekla taking like I think she's like reviewing her past missions maybe. So she's like in the clan archives and like poring over them for like seemingly no reason, or just reviewing them for no reason, but I think the audience knows she's looking for the cracks.
Looking at the cracks, the contradictions, the things that she remembers that are different than what's recorded. Excellent. That brings us back to Aurora. What's your second downtime action, Aurora?
I think after this frenetic storm of bidding or outbidding for this piece, I deliberately go to a place that is like pretty shady, and I'm going to train my strike ability by dealing with some hooligans.
Excellent. So you can do that, and you will mark 1 XP on strike. Is it just you go down and find some thugs, some street robbers? How is it that you do this? How careful and deliberate are you about this?
Not careful. But I think what happens is I outbid someone I know is pretty powerful, and they send somebody after me when I collect the item to just rob me of it later. But of course, I just destroy them instead.
You lead lay the goons out. Do you leave any witnesses?
Oh yeah, I think people can watch me beat them up if they like.
And so there'd be that question about this strange antiquarian with apparently the wired reflexes, and it's very strange.
Yeah, I'm wearing like in my picture, I've got the turtleneck that goes like up to my lips like that. So there's only like partial identification, but I'm looking to take out my frustrations from the mission where I was, those people were sent after me because the women were mean to me.
They were mean to me.
Yeah.
It is true. They were actually quite mean to you.
Yeah.
Let's come back to Anubis. Anubis, what's your second downtime action?
I would like to start a long-term project to set up a safe shrine house for my fellow Genocolony worshippers. So I'd like to find a place to do that, because if nothing else, if our current safe house falls, well, hopefully I'll have it in place in time to say, all right, everybody, don't mind the ichor. We're good over here, and
That makes sense to me. So a Genocolony safe house on the table. What do you think you're going to roll for that? What's the appropriate skill?
I was gonna go with study because I'm looking for a location.
Yeah, that makes sense. So go ahead and roll.
All right. That's a 6.
That is a 6, so that is 3 ticks on the clock.
Plus one secret.
Okay, so 5 ticks on the clock. So you guys are rocking. What kind of place have you scouted out? What kind of neighborhood?
It's let's see. It's near the fishmongers.
Okay.
So it's near the docks. It's near the fishmongers. It's kind of up a back of a warehouse sort of area.
So essentially, it's probably back the place where they put the fish through to extract the heavy metals from them before they get put out into the market. So you're back there. some chemicals and ichor back there, which fits in with the ambiance that you're looking for. Perfect. So again, 5 ticks on both of those projects. Let's come back to Cypher.
Yeah. So this actually kind of works out really well. I'm going to go ahead and use that source training that I used or that I had earlier.
Okay. Perfect. What do you imagine that you have access to for your source training? What does your source training look like?
I think because I spend so much time kind of focusing on my study ability and how that sort of ties in to the overlays, I think that there's kind of it's similar to sort of the training program that they used in the first Matrix, where it's basically like I am basically using it as a way to kind of study all these different moves so that like in real world situations it's more of a natural instinct for me rather than like, you know, oh god, I'm going to be caught by surprise, and so I'm just kind of like planning for all of these things instead of just 1 or 2 things.
Nice, and kind of going inside your own head to explore those levels. I like that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and mark 2 ticks on that track.
All right. So that puts me actually at 6 experience in source.
Oh, that's nice.
So I have never actually leveled up in terms of that. How does that work?
Okay. So right now, so the max is still 2, so that extra point you got for study
that was
should,
my bad.
yeah. But yeah, you'll clear all those checks, and
Okay.
you get another box on
Oh,
anything under source.
Cool. Got it. Thank you.
There is a real pleasure to finishing those clocks out and getting the XP. So I do like that.
When does the max number bump up?
So there is a thing that the group can take as a cell advance, called oh, I need to find that. What is that thing there? It's not mastery. It's something else. I think it is mastery. The character creation. Oh, I'm sorry. Darren is right. After character creation, you go to 3. There's an advance that I'll put back on the sheet to take to go to 4.
Oh, okay. So I can put it at 3.
You can go to 3. Thank you, Darren.
Cool. I will do that. And yep. Cool. Then I am good.
All right. Oh, that's right, because you can't get a double up XP for playbook training, can you?
No.
Okay.
And then the mastery one takes more upgrades.
Yeah, it takes 2 advances to unlock. Okay. Thank you. It's been a while. Darren, you get the last of the bites of the apple on downtime actions.
Yes. I was thinking.
You're like completely unstressed, aren't you?
I've got 3 stress. It's livable, you know. Just another day in the office.
Just another day in the office. Okay.
Man, I'm tempted to just try and finish up with my Tekla clock, but no, I want to diversify my portfolio.
Fair enough.
I think that I want to. Yeah, I want to acquire an asset. I'm looking for like a contact for our next job,
Okay.
whatever that may be.
So when you acquire an asset, you roll your tier. So you just roll 1 die.
1 dice. Oh, a 5.
Okay. So that will be a tier 1 asset that you can define later.
Cool. Hope it'll be a contact.
So what I'd like to do now is go and sort of do a scene with each of you, either about your essentially your non-shinobi lives, like off-mission lives, either interactions with people within the clan or interactions with your cover identities, or even interactions with other PCs. I want to go around and have everybody frame and do a scene so we can see something of that. So what do you want for that, Aurora? Do we want to see your father, or do we want to see, your work in this, your training and interactions in the clan? What would you like?
Yeah, maybe something to do with my preserving my cover as the antiquarian with my dad.
Yeah, so you have returned back. Your dad in good health, bad health, reasonable. What is he like?
I think poor health. We're poor, and I'm pretty old now, so it makes sense. He gets me to drive a car and put a glass inside the cup holder and go up a mountain to deliver the parts.
Right.
Yeah. Just kidding. But yeah, I think he's in poor health, and I'm sort of in the process of taking over the responsibilities at the store.
He probably has to spend more and more time on the kind of medical purification devices each day. Probably started out as like a 30-minute ritual, maybe, and now it's up to an hour and a half of him having to do that in the morning. And he's getting that, unhooked, pulling the things out of his nose and IV out of him. And he says, and what does he call you? Does he call you Aurora?
Yeah, probably, or some kind of pet name.
And he will say, Aurora, I spoke with Zika, the assessor. She was, you know her. She was at an auction a few days ago.
And I like stiffen for just like an infinitesimal second, and then like go smooth again, and I'm like, oh, an auction, strange.
She said she saw you there and that you got into a fight.
Is there evidence of this? Maybe she's just trying to rattle you.
So you're saying you weren't there?
Well, I frequently, you know me, I wander the streets at night quite often, just to clear my mind. I might have been close to
This
there.
was at an auction during the day. It wasn't just wandering the streets.
I like turn up the oxygen on the machine. I say, yeah, you know me, Father. You can see through all my lies. I was there. I was there.
Aurora. He said you fought very well.
These are dangerous streets.
You haven't been indulging in illegal viroware, have you? Combat programs that you've gotten on the streets from dealers?
Oh no, I know those comes with malware.
Then how is it that you had such skills?
I think that she just underestimated how poor these thugs were. They were reaching for the item that I had bidded for, and I got a few lucky punches in and they went scrambling. You know how these kids are on the streets. They're pathetic.
Let me have you roll insinuate, I think.
Okay. Yeah, a couple noodles could knock these kids over, Father. Okay, insinuate. Ooh, don't have that skill. Okay, so roll 2, take the lowest.
Yeah.
Is a 3, not the best.
Can I help?
How would you help me?
Well, he can offer teamwork at a distance.
Oh yeah, you could talk me through it. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's really good. I imagine before this, maybe this is a flashback wrapped into
Okay.
long distance help. Before this, we maybe chatted, and you were like, "I'm going to see my father," things like that. And you probably even told me about your fights, right? Just in passing, as good cellmates do. So yeah, maybe as I can we can tap into each other's hearing or whatever, right? So
Mhm.
how the meta network is sensory.
Yeah, you tell me. Do you think it is ability to read through that and read through the senses?
Yeah, maybe it's like a Ghost in a Shell when those team members go into that space where it's kind of like, both in reality and out of it and stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, in the anime of this, you see Bashi come up beside you, a translucent figure, and I lean over and whisper what you should be saying.
Which is what?
Oh my god, I don't.
You watch too much kung fu films.
Wait, yeah, something like that. That's really good. Father, I need to bring you some I don't know, some less foolish movies to watch and books to read.
So you tell him how to gaslight his own father, her own father. Okay. All right. So because this is the first time we use that, so let's roll back. And Fraser, we'll ignore those first 2 dice. Roll a die.
Alrighty, I'll use the top one. Shazam! What? Even worse. The worst. I don't know why that couldn't work. I guess my father's savvy.
And I think that 2 things happen, and you can choose which one you want to resist the consequence on. One is that you can tell that some of his suspicions, that he's had some worries and some thoughts that maybe there's something more going on, that those deepen significantly. But then that also agitates him, and you see him start to have an attack. Which consequence would you like to resist, or none?
No, I'd like to resist the one where he is having problems physically. And so does the other one just mean that you'll start a clock that will progress with his... Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Although if my dad actually learns of it, it's probably not going to be good for his health either, but that's cool. 2 health problems.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
Which one am I resisting on that?
What do you think is appropriate for doing the medical stuff here quickly? Is it strike? That includes speed.
Yeah, it could be a speed thing. Maybe I notice stuff on the monitor and quickly reach out and adjust the levels and stuff like that.
Then roll 3 dice.
Okay, come on, Dad. Shazam. Oh, 3, man.
So you take 3 stress on that.
Yeah, my dad's stressing me out, man.
And it does. I mean, there's a moment where he flatlines before you find the stuff to kind of get that leveled and deliver essentially the chemical cocktail into him, and he will kind of cough and come back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, just it's been a long week. Maybe you'll mind the shop today."
Of course. I'm sorry to add to this stress. I'll be a better daughter.
No, you are a good daughter. Do not doubt that. And he lets you take him upstairs and essentially tuck him into bed. though as you shut the door, we see his eyes still watching. So let's come to Anubis then. What kind of scene would you like?
Part of his cover identity. He's doing handyman work. I like to have that there's 2 old widows that every time he's on a route in a certain area, he always checks in on.
Okay. So yeah, so you're checking in on these 2 old widows, and when you get there, you can see that there are some fairly broad-shouldered people, kind of jumpsuit wearing folks that are at the widow's door, and you can see that one of them has clearly pushed to hold the door open, and they're keeping their voices perfectly calm. Whereas the widows seem really frazzled. And they're like, well, we're just saying that you should reconsider the offer because things are going to be changing in the neighborhood soon. So our offer is very generous.
Excuse me, sirs. I'm here to check on some maintenance. Is there going to be a new landlord? Do I need to be getting work orders from someone else?
And the one who's not in the doorway turns and does that kind of step up on you with his hand like, no, you should just turn around and go back downstairs.
I have a work order. I need to check on the plumbing in this unit. Are you working with the new landlord? Is there a new landlord? There was a mix up with the paperwork today.
And so you want to, what was your goal here? You want to try and push past? You want to try and irritate him? What do you think?
I'm leaning towards irritating him.
Okay. Let's have you roll insinuate or undermine.
I'm going for undermine. He's definitely trying to go for this cool exterior, so it's like, I'm calm, I'm in control. No, I want to, if nothing else, shake him up a little bit, give the widows a chance to show that the handyman managed to get him rattled.
Okay.
And that's a 5.
That is a 5. So I think you pull them off from the widows and rattle them. But this guy goes to push you down the stairs with that kind of, goes to do that. Like he's gotten irritated enough. He's just going to push this handyman down the stairs. Kind of clearly doesn't care if you die or not.
I see. Okay.
Would you like to resist that consequence?
I would like to resist that consequence.
Okay. Because it'd just be a light wound. So why don't you go ahead, you can roll, I think source or strike would be appropriate here.
I'm going to lean towards source.
Okay. Then roll me 2 dice.
Ooh, another 5.
So you take 1 stress, and tell me what that looks like.
They go to shove Anubis down the stairs, and there's this moment where there's just a bit of a stumble step, and they notice just for a split second that when he goes to catch his hand on the railing, his joints bend the wrong way to stop him, and then they reset. And that's where the stress is, where the Geno colony just kind of stepped in for a second going, we're not taking this. And there's just a moment where obviously his arm didn't work like a regular person's, but then it's just standing at the bottom going, do I need to call my supervisor? I could definitely get them down here and maybe contact the local peace officers and all that to see if there's an issue with this sort of thing. Do you have Or do you know who you have your service contract with your house? I might need to lodge a complaint about having your water and power maintained.
And they look at you. Maybe there's almost the tuning out of what you're saying, where they kind of realize they saw the arm, there was a thing, and they go, okay, and they get quiet, and they back, and they head for the elevator.
All right. Then
You have the sense that they're probably going to be back, but
mhm.
they're like, this was weird, and they're not getting paid enough to deal with weird.
Excellent. All right, then go and check on the widows, make sure they're okay. See
Oh
what the
yes,
problem is.
it's apparently they're another sort of local extortion group has kind of taken over and is kind of moving people along, or getting additional payments to let people stay on here, and they're just the most recent in a line of people that are getting hit by this.
Do you want me to I can go look for some parts. Do you want me to put a reinforced lock on your door?
Oh well, no. Even as they're handing you like tea cookies and that kind of thing, and matcha tea, and clearly, yes, please do that, but we're not going to ask for it, kind of thing.
Right. Well, the door looks like it needs work anyhow, and like I said, I came by to check on the plumbing, and yeah, let's see what we can do for you here, and just make sure you're a little bit more secure, and go from there. And yeah, go to get some reinforced lock for it, and just checks like, do you need anything, perhaps to push anyone back, or do you just want to make sure your door stays
Just
closed?
the lock is fine.
All right, fine. Then make sure it's nice and reinforced. The next time I come through, I'll make sure the paint on the outside's still good, and if I need to, I'll put another coat of paint on it. We'll work on it from there. So that's what then he spends part of his afternoon doing.
and they are as grateful as you might expect. Let's come to Cypher.
Hello.
Cypher, do you want a scene inside the clan, or do we want to see what your club is like?
I kind of want to see what my club is like. I'm kind of maybe clan next time, but like,
Sure.
Yeah. It's one of the few times where I looked back and went, "What did I put for myself last week?" Oh, thank you, previous self.
So what is it? Is it a dance club? Is it an escort club? Is it
It's a nightclub. It's a dance club.
Okay. So tell me something about it.
Oh gosh.
Is it high above ground? Is it on the street level, or is it underground?
It's high above the ground, and I think it's kind of, in a way, a symbol of its reputation, in that it's a sought-after place that I think there's not a lot of. It's not easy to get into, but people seek it out.
Absolutely, and it's like it's kind of a club that sort of sticks out the side of the building, so the dance floor can go from different colors and hollow projections to being transparent as you want, and you've got a nice bar there, and people have to make their way up through the building. It's probably one of those buildings with that's almost kind of just a jam-packed indoor mall kind of thing that gets nicer and nicer as you go up.
Yeah.
And the way they keep that is they charge to use the elevator. So you have to pay there to get up to your level. And you've got a pretty good staff. One of the bartenders comes over and says, "We had some problems last night. We weren't around. The bouncers dealt with it, but we might have an issue coming up here.
What kind of problems? Be specific.
There was a group of yaks from Mbendu who came in and were throwing money around and hassling some of the regulars, and they got a little handsy with the hands, and Rufus and Gertrude went in and pulled them off, and they stabbed Gertrude, and we tossed them, but they might not have been as gentle as they could have been with them, and I think they got injured, and I certainly got the sense that at least one of them was more highly placed, like either a lieutenant or the kid of a lieutenant.
Well, first things first. How's Gertrude doing?
She's fine. We've got a spray patch, so she just shot it into her leg and kept going.
Sounds like Gertrude.
We called a drone doc. It was here within a couple of hours, and got the sewed up on that.
Good call. So, what are the odds on that group coming back here tonight?
I'd say pretty good, boss. I mean, it depends. It depends on how kind of hot-headed they are. I mean, I've
Well, really don't want to find out, but if we have to, just let me know the second they get here. Let's assume, for all intents and purposes, that they will be here and plan accordingly.
And so how would you set up to prepare for that kind of thing?
So I think if, assume I'm sure I have bouncers here, and I think very much making sure to the bartender I was talking to, what's their name?
That would be let me grab my little name list here. Canva. Okay.
I'll have Canva go ahead and make the bouncers aware of mainly of who these people might be, to try to keep them out, and if things go awry, then basically I'm wanting to make sure that the bouncers communicate either to Canva or directly to me that there's a situation. I want it to go through the shortest chain of command, and I do not want to find out about it last.
So you planning on staying around here tonight rather than going back to clan responsibilities?
I think I'm torn because my initial thought is stick around and do that, and then I remember the clan responsibilities, and it's that tug of war, and part of me is well, I can just attend to the clan stuff and they'll make it known to me if something goes on. But if I'm in the middle of something with the clan and that happens, I can't just abandon the clan.
If you want to prepare, like set things up, I think you could do command as an ability check to get things in place.
Yeah, and I think basically I think with the command, it's more of I'm less thinking about the execution of it and more going just pull out all the stops. I want to make sure that these guys understand that you can't just walk in here like you own the place when I own the place.
Excellent. Let's have you roll command.
Okay. So that's 2 dice.
So risky standard.
Remind me what that means.
That means that risky means what kind of role it is. A thing is either controlled for position, risky, or desperate. And that describes what the sort of potential blowback is. And then the effect is little effect, standard effect, or big effect. And this standard effect, I think.
So before I roll, or should it be after I roll? Asking for help.
You can ask for help right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I figure if we've got the meta network, is anyone willing to help from a distance? And how so?
Asking for fighting and combat setup advice.
I wonder. I think I could offer that.
It's like, Aurora,
Oh,
I didn't think I need this, but I need this.
Maybe, well, even like, well, yeah, it could be over the network, but maybe after my poor outcome with my father, I go to a place to drink, and for the drink, I will offer you advice.
I like it. Comes by the bar.
Yeah, I need a
Yeah.
stiff one, Johnny.
Great.
So yeah,
Cool.
mark a stress, Fraser, and you get an extra die.
So then I will roll these 3. Okay. Fuck. I just rolled 3 6s.
So that's critical, which is awesome. And because it's a crit on a risky roll, I'm going to put a little check mark on your gambits for the cell. So you've got 1 floating gambit, 3 successes. So I think what we will see is when the Yakuza come back, your people are ready and they take them down. What's the piece of advice that you've given them, Aurora, that they take to heart?
Go for the groin.
And it is they don't even like play with face or anything like that. They're just they go in, they take them out, and then they put them down. They don't humiliate them or anything like that. They just make it clear that coming here is going to be a losing proposition, and also they probably want to take their buddy to a robodoc like right now.
Oh, that felt so cool.
And those yaks won't bother you again.
Oh man.
Not whatsoever. They will steer clear of that place.
Yeah.
Let's come to Bashi.
I thought a nice family safe house scene would be cute
Okay.
if everyone's into it, or some people are into it.
Yeah. So tell me about the safe house besides the swim up bar.
Is it under? Do we have to access it from like waterways?
No, I assume that like why is it that you have this sort of kind of cheesy camp like pool with a swim up bar? Why do you have that in this safe house? What did this safe house used to be?
Yeah, maybe it used to be an old public pool.
Okay. So it's a public pool that somebody tried to renovate and change into like a drinking establishment, and that went over as well as you can imagine, because they segregated the 2 sides and everything. And so yeah, you've got this sort of renovated, slightly more upscale bathhouse.
That's pretty good.
And you've got the pool and the steam and all of that, and rooms. So what else? Tell me another feature of it.
Well, what I have put in to the safe house in the common area is, I think, like a very austere but respectable shrine to Buddha, to reinforce this idea that I'm still Buddhist, despite not being a Templar anymore.
Do you think that the others? Do you think that they? I mean, well, I should say, do they respect your faith? What do the three of you think? Do you acknowledge it?
Oh yeah.
Aurora buys into it. Owen, you have your
Um,
own faith.
As far as Anubis is concerned, that is one of the multiple facets of life and all that. So if that's the way that they're evolving to go there, that's fine.
I'm sure we've had a few staid conversations. Maybe I've just come to terms with like, okay, sure, geno colonies can reach enlightenment. I'll give you that.
Excellent.
And what about you, Cypher?
I think with Cypher, it's as complicated as everything else. I think deep down, Cypher almost certainly does believe in this, but I think it starts shifting the more overlays he's got, because I think there's a little bit of personality in each one that isn't his own, and it's basically seeds of doubt, technical or otherwise.
And there's a real question about with these mimetic overlays that are kind of personalities that have hung around like ghosts, about what's their place on the wheel of reincarnation.
Yeah. And it's a conversation that I've almost certainly had with myself.
So it's probably one of the things that draws the four of you together is probably more spirituality than a lot of the other shinobi have.
Yeah.
We're very wholesome.
You're wholesome killers.
That's interesting with Cypher and your overlays. Do you feel like pushed away from this space, even though like core Cypher is like into it? Is there like a aversion to it from the overlays?
I think right now he feels close, and I think the overlays, I think in their sort of ghostly nature, actually kind of reinforce that, because in some ways they still exist, so there's still hope.
Oh, that's interesting.
The reality of it all is just sort of in question, and I think it just depends on the route Cypher ends up going down. Because who knows? He hasn't reached total dissociation yet.
That could come.
Do we pray together, Aurora? Sorry, I have all these
Yeah,
questions
no.
now about her.
Yeah, I think that it would be maybe even like a recent thing, especially as my father has been worsening. I've been thinking about this stuff more. And especially as I've had to take on more responsibility with the store and everything as well, I think it makes sense that I would be drifting towards trying to find those answers, and looking for them in somebody who is aware of them, because I wasn't. So maybe I'm just like a new practitioner and learning.
So what else do you want? What else do we see in this scene with the four of you gathered together, Darren? What is it you want to see, or what's the conversation you want to have?
Yeah, I just want to talk. Maybe we open with Aurora and Hitotsubashi, if you're up for that, Frazier.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe we're cooking.
Oh, really? I thought we would just lean into the prank. What are we cooking?
Oh yeah, we probably.
No, I like
That makes sense.
No, let's cook. Let's cook, and then that's a good way for other people to come into the scene, right?
Yeah.
Kind of private.
Yeah, maybe.
Are we making ramen from scratch?
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Got the right acidity to the noodles and all of that.
I'm
Yeah.
there chopping the wheat noodles.
Yeah, which we made the day before. They're all dried out now and ready to go.
Aurora, how's your father doing?
Not well. He is taking longer and longer to I don't know what the machine does. Filter. It's like a dialysis thing, I guess. Well, I wonder if it's like gas kind of, where you can only afford the different levels, like there's premium, and then because he's been using the regular for so much, it his system is no good anymore or whatever, right? Like if he had been using premium, for all this while, he'd be fine, but we could only afford the
Premium med
basic level.
fluid. He had to do with standard med fluid.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
Some
like,
more
even the regular is so expensive, and he knows nothing of this life. It's getting hard to keep up this facade, even though the facade is my real life. And then, like, maybe you notice that whatever I'm cutting, I'm like over cutting it or whatever, right? Like, like stress cutting. It's like the thinnest meat ever.
Or please be careful. The meat is gonna overcook if you slice it that thin, just from the boiling water.
Right. 1 inch, right?
Well, perhaps soon we can use some of our resources to help your father.
If he catches, he's a sly one. If he'll question where the money comes from, and I won't know what to tell him. And I'm so afraid that what if the clan learns that he's suspicious? What if they, end a problem?
Some days, Aurora, I wish I had as great of a risk in this as you do. Sometimes it just feels like I have me and the Buddha.
Well, that is a lifelong commitment.
And the others, when you come in on them talking intently, I assume that Cypher, that you're unreasonably pleased with yourself after the success.
Yeah. I mean, I think under like any other circumstances, I'd probably actually be tight-lipped about it, because like success is great, but if you celebrate it too much, you're not as prepared for the next. But that was really, really way better than I expected, so I'm feeling pleased as punch.
Do you come in? Are you kind of like loud? Are you being a little like celebratory?
It's not even that I'm loud, it's just that for once I have like an actual legitimate smile on my face that I'm not even trying to hide. Like, if anyone points it out, I'll just be like, yes, I'm smiling.
Oh, Cypher, which seeing your comment, Cypher, which overlay is that? You seem a little too happy.
It's me. It's just me, which is something I usually don't care to say, but no, it's me.
Well,
And I think I'm gonna like turn to Aurora and be like, Aurora, do you think I was there when you gave that advice to the people that, I told to listen to you? Or was it just like you told them and then I just heard that they succeeded? And so I have no idea that you told them to punch these guys in the groin. I mean, what do you think?
Either whatever one's interesting to you.
Okay.
But whatever you say, I like hand bomb a beer or whatever to you, like arc it nice and high. So
Nice.
it's cool when you catch it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Then I'll just, for the sake of things, for the sake of things, I'll just go ahead and say, I had to make that joke once. There was all of the okay. But yeah, I probably knew. And I'm just gonna say, I gotta listen to you way more from now on, because that was some damn good advice. And that cleaned up so well. Oh my god. That was amazing.
And I like prod Bashi with my elbow as you open it and the can explodes because I shook it.
And I think I'm still so pleased by this that I just kind of smile and go, nice job. I didn't see that coming.
I'm adorable.
so sneaky. You little Oni.
Oh man, that was really something. The next time you do that, don't.
Cypher, we're having ramen. Are you gonna stay?
Of course. Yeah. No, I mean, I am here for the rest of the evening.
So, mastermind, Cypher, do you have any plans cooked up? Any leads for us?
I may be the mastermind, but sometimes that just involves patience.
Well, I suppose we have things to take care of here, covers to keep up, but
Yeah.
now that I know the truth, I can't seem to sit still.
The truth?
About the clans.
Oh, okay. I thought you were referring to some far bigger truth about everything.
The only bigger truth I know is something about alignment. I don't know enough Buddhism to make a joke about that, but the only truth I know is the truth of disconnection, as he doesn't want to know.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
It probably smells pretty good from the incense from the altar, and then also the ramen and stuff.
Let me ask you this then, Anubis. What is your relationship to food?
Anubis enjoys, simple fare and all that, but the Geno colony definitely has a high protein desire. So if the Geno colony is not hungry, some simple noodles, some simple soup. If the Geno colony is hungry, it's more of along the lines of going, okay, we're gonna have, fish, or, please something that would be reasonable to eat. Maybe dog from the market or something. If he's especially hungry, he doesn't like to do it, but it's better than just taking somebody's hand.
You can probably go and get vat grown meat. At that point, essentially the most is protein powder and vat grown meat are probably the cheapest things.
Okay, all right, yeah, go with vat grown. But my thought was with the scouting out at the fishmongers is that Anubis was going to come in at some point and come back and pull, make sure that nobody gets disturbed, but pull out of his jacket a bit of fish he picked up while he was scouting.
Okay.
For everybody to supplement the dinner.
Oh, nice.
Anubis, we'll make a tempura. Bring it in.
Sees the little bit of a spill on the floor and just not even making a comment, just walks over, gets the mop, cleans up, starts tidying up a little bit, gets the table set and that sort of deal while everyone else is cooking and conversing.
You're quiet today, Anubis. What did you do?
Having the problem of people not respecting the aged and those who are put upon. Some thugs messing with some, I wouldn't quite call them friends, but people I'm concerned about outside the clan, and it's bothering me. So I felt like indulging a little bit to keep the rest of me happier.
That sounds wise. These thugs, are they from an organization we should be concerned about?
Haven't done enough looking into them, but I think they've got my attention enough for me to want to know. But unfortunately, the rest of us decided to make a little show of annoyance, so they know I'm not completely your average handyman in the neighborhood. So,
Look at Cypher with expectant eyes, like, can we look into this, please? Can we take down a criminal organization, please?
can we please take down a different criminal organization?
Well, this seems like maybe this seems a good place to kind of, now we have those irons in the fire. Let's take our 5-minute break here, and when we come back, we'll talk about how you want to pursue jobs or leads or things like that. Okay, so let's take 5.
I thought of my Buddhism joke. It should have been the only higher truth I know is escaping the wheel or the clutches of karma. That would have been.
You're not quick on your feet with your Zen koans?
No.
I mean,
wait, can you be? Is that a koan in itself?
for what it's worth, I could have sworn that's exactly what you said.
Yeah. How much is the stress cost for that flashback?
Yeah, just distress. So now we've got a couple ways that we can do missions here. One is that you can say, we want to do a mission that's going to gain us one of these claims or edges or things like that you want to direct towards one of those. In which case, the claims themselves are kind of the reward. You'll get some secrets, but they're definitely the reward from that. Or you can just say, we just want to we'll go to our people and get a mission. Or you can frame something and we can see how that works. Anybody have any strong feelings about that? Fraser, you've played Blades before. Do you prefer kind of the GM throwing you some options and letting you choose, or would you like to kind of direct the way?
I don't have any specific hooks in the story right now that I want to poke, but maybe other people have some stuff. Right now, I really enjoyed the interpersonal stuff. So if somebody has a mission in mind, I'm all ears.
Anubis, are you truly disinterested in the criminal and those criminals? Because I'm okay pushing that.
Anubis is interested. He just wasn't going to suggest that the whole cell had to deal with his problem. Now, if the whole cell's interested in dealing with the problem, yes, he's all for it.
I'm okay if I can run with that. I'm okay with continuing to pitch it to Cypher, which I do just because Cypher's thing is like information gathering and like the planning, right? So I would definitely keep pushing. I'm okay with picking up right at that scene too, where I'm like looking at you expectantly, Cypher. I'm like, is this a lead?
Yeah. And I think if this is coming off of Cypher's last comment where he basically said sometimes gathering information is simply being patient, and the next thing that shows up is information on this, I'm just like, I'm feeling good. This might be the information that we go after. And if we're all sort of personally involved in that sense, then so much the better for it.
Yeah, I think I would have a vector too, just because I just finished talking about how I'm upset about the medical company costing an arm and a leg for my father's stuff, and you were saying how they were taking advantage of old people. So I think I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
So your intent is to disrupt a cell of the Dastavni, the Red Yakuza family, in the area, hopefully extracting some resources and secrets from it in an attempt to bolster your thing. And you're doing this off the books from the clan. Does that seem right?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, let's do sort of a this is the info gathering segment, so we can get a sense of the shape of what you want to do, because all we know is destroy, but we don't know exactly what that's going to entail. So let's do a little bit of kind of a once around checking in on that and have people ask questions. I'm going to actually start with Anubis on this, because Anubis is the one who kind of brought this to the area. So what do you want to do? What do you want to find out? What do you need to know to be able to start to formulate and come up with an objective?
The big thing that I see Anubis doing is going, oh, okay, we're all going to do this. Excellent. Getting it back in the neighborhood and then taking position and looking for lines of fire, watching people, trying to track these guys, see if there's a pattern, see if he could work out a central nest just by watching them move around from above.
Let's have you roll stalk. The nice thing about gather info is there's only less info that you get.
Well, I get the least amount of info possible. 1.
So I think you will hit the streets, and you definitely get a sense of this particular Das Tavni. It's not like a major branch, but it's they've moved into this area. There are other Yakuza sort of families, but the 3, the red, the blue, and the white, are the big ones. And they've kind of pushed out the local gangs in this area. And you will confirm, I think probably the biggest information you'll get is you confirm that, in fact, they are the ones that hold. There aren't other real rivals to them present. Does that seem like fair info?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Okay. Cypher.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
So I think I want to figure out the path that they're going to take by going higher up in the chain of command.
Okay.
And I want to basically try and get as much information as I can, perhaps by tapping into my lore keeper friend.
Okay.
Seeing what I can.
You want to get a sense of the hierarchy, like who are the power players in this group?
Yeah, because we're going to be able to do what we can to pick off the sort of lower tier things, but it's only symptoms, and we need to. If we're going to take care of this, we should probably go higher up.
So that sounds like study to me.
Yes.
So let's have you roll with study.
Yeah. All right. One 6.
1 6. So that will be a. Hang on 1 second. I'm pulling something up here. So there is a boss, and that is Rogue Binda. She's the boss. She has been given this area relatively recently. There was some turnover, and so that seems to be the big issue that she has, is that she needs to establish herself. And then there are 2 lieutenants that are on the street. As in Phoenix. And let me grab another good name here. And Jayant Sergey. Asvin Phoenix is solid, serious, conservative. Like, he doesn't go overboard. When he does something, he does it straight line. He's been given to Bindya as a reliable lieutenant, and so he's more recently arrived there. And Jayant Sergey is crazy, like mad dog kind of crazy. Effective, scares his people, and very prone to going to violence, both against outsiders and internal threats. You suspect, given what Anubis said, that those people that were there were probably Asvin's people, just because they were much more cautious. I'll give you a follow-up question.
Okay. Let me just get all of this. Are there any cracks in the armor to have Asvin's and Sergei's, or Jayant Sergei's, men turn against each other?
Well, those two certainly don't like each other. And they're kind of an impasse, but Asvin values loyalty. So if anybody's going to go off, it's going to be Jayant.
Okay.
Does that seem like fair info?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Darren, let me come back around to you, Bashi.
I would like to leverage our doppelgangers and try.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm presuming I have maybe 1, 2 that's in the Yakuza, deep cover in the Yakuza.
Yeah,
Who I can tap.
or there are probably some that can move around between. Okay. So you get that small cohort. You want to get them into there.
Yes.
Okay. Then let's have you roll a d6 for their quality.
Okay. Nope. Roll for your party. Yeah. Here we go. Reroll. That's a 5. Okay.
That's a 5. So they are in there. They're not in great position, but they are on scene to be able to relay you information. What though is Bashi doing or looking into?
Yes. Interesting. I think I'm looking on ways to leverage Rogue Bindia, right? So if we have this face-to-face encounter or something, a backup plan basically, so I can maneuver socially if need be.
Okay. So that's kind of a gather information, I think, with insinuate, since you're kind of looking at that social stuff. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's do that then.
It's a 2.
That's a 2. She's determined to kind of keep things together here, and she has a pretty good assessment of her lieutenants. Like, she's aware of the risks there. Knows that Jayant could be an issue. Understands Asvin's reliable. She's a smarter cookie than you would have thought. And so you will realize that when things start to go weird, she's probably going to notice, unless she's distracted with other matters.
Okay.
That seem good?
Yeah, that's really good.
Let's come to Aurora.
I think I want to see maybe the either I want to see if like maybe I could go to a dive bar or whatever that these people would go to, and either clock how either like when they're most on guard or whatever, or even just like their quality or something like that.
Oh, okay. Kind of judging, looking for weak points in the command structure.
Yeah, anything habitual we can take advantage of, basically.
Then let's have you go ahead and roll stalk.
Stalk. 1. Is there a devil's bargain?
So I think the devil's bargain is that I start a clock for Bindia noticing people mucking about.
Oh, okay. And this is a gather information, is it?
Yeah.
It's low stakes. I'll take the 1. I'll take the 1.
Okay.
4.
4. So they're still getting used to the neighborhood. Like, that's one of the things is you'll realize that they don't know the layout of the streets like they ought to. Like, you would expect them to know the ins and outs stuff, but they've come in. There are a lot of outsiders. They didn't really pull in or recruit heavily from the smaller local gangs that were here. So that's their real weak spot is not knowing physical layout. In terms of habits, they tend to cycle back to their HQ, which is an underground karaoke arena, and they tend to go there to see those fights, and cycle through on that. So more of them hang around the HQ than maybe need to at any particular time. I'll give you a follow-up question.
How? So they like to watch these like underground fight things?
Yes, essentially, they're karaoke battles.
Is there a specific time in which like it would be good to actually stage that whatever we're going to do? Like, is there a famous person coming to do a karaoke battle or something?
Well, it wouldn't be that. Essentially, you would want to wait until somebody has won a few rounds and has managed to stick around, and has garnered some attention, because the more times somebody wins and survives, then the more audience that they pull.
I see. Okay.
I'm going to come back to Anubis. Do you think you have enough information? You guys want to come up with a plan now, or do you want another once around?
I'm leaning towards, if we push it, Anubis is leaning towards, if we push it much further, we're going to reveal that we're doing something. If anybody else feels strongly,
I will say the
round.
mechanics of the game mean that with gather info you don't reveal.
Right. Okay.
Just to tell you on that side.
All right. Then let's see. Are we leaning towards the idea of thinking? Well, we know they have this interest, and we know that there's the local gangs sort of deal going on there. So, yeah, trying to see if he can find any of the local gangs that they didn't assimilate that's feeling a little underappreciated or stepped on or something along those lines, trying to, looking to undermine the power structure they're establishing to see if we could make a contact that way.
Absolutely. I think that's kind of doing a little resource building on site. Yeah, let's have you I have a question for you now. Do you want that to be your asset? Or do you want to roll for this?
Actually, yeah, let's have that be my asset. Because nice level tier 1 sort of gang sort of thing. Yeah.
So tell me about this disenfranchised gang that got pushed out by the act, but there's still a little of them around, and they know the area, smaller in power, armament, that kind of thing. Tell me about them.
All right. Let's see. Give me 1 second. They were definitely protection racket, but they kind of took more. They feel that they took more pride in the job than the Yak who've come in. It's one of those. It's like, yes, we're charging for protection, and yes, we have to make sure we eat, but at the same time, we're not overcharging like these outsiders are and all that. They're squeezing everybody, and that's we've had to rough up my third cousin every once in a while because he won't pay, but that you got to understand that this is locals here, and we're taking care of each other, and the peace officers just won't do this. So, and they're definitely a younger gang sort of thing that had a little bit of turf, and when Yakuza decide to come in to go, hey, here, we're going to be in this town. They're feeling disgruntled. They're like, no, wait, just get out of here.
Yeah, you have the sense that there must have been an elder tier or level to this gang at one point, but something must have happened because it left essentially 14 to 18-year-olds in charge of this.
Mm-hmm. All flash, not a lot of experience. Yep,
absolutely. And they're dressed in kind of what would be out of fashion stuff, because their role models were 30 years out of date. So yeah, you certainly have your hooks into them.
All right.
I'm back to Cypher.
I kind of did the information searching that I wanted to do, so at this point, I'm feeling pretty good.
Sure.
Just openly, my angle is kind of like sow the doubt between the two lieutenants, if I can.
Okay. Let's check in with Bashi.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm good with the gather information, and I think the lieutenant angle is good. I think this karaoke battle is also very interesting. I think I'm looking at maybe it's like a deception or an infiltration.
And what is it you want to learn?
Oh, I'm good for gather information.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Are good for gather information. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you set then? So let me ask you what the goal of this mission is. Is your intent the destruction of this Yakuza group? Is it more sort of undermining them? What do you think the operation is intended to do?
I kind of mentioned claiming turf, and that might be a big tall order. And I think if we're doing that, we need to definitely like wipe them out, right, and drive them out of the area.
All right. So this seems like an assassination, large group assassination, and destruction of an organization. And it may be that the edge you're trying to take is info, like you're trying to grab up what network they have and what connections they have. Okay. And the means is what? What is the start here? Is it rile up Giant? Is that the thing, or is there some other thing? Because I kind of need to know what the entry point is.
I'm leaning towards using the gang I contacted to rile up Jant, because he's a bad dog. He's going to go off on slight insults, that sort of thing. I'll tell the kids not to really get into it, but bend them out of shape to open it up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that. My only thing was that I was thinking if there was possibly a way, once that goes off, to drop some sort of anonymous thing to get Asvin's people in there, could just kind of cause a lot of chaos.
But we know the entry point is going to be Giant undercutting, and we can move to those ops after that. Does that seem right?
As long as there's some form of karaoke happening, I'm happy.
Okay. Yeah, you will wait till a night when there is a person who has won 4 nights running, survived, managed to walk away without too much being torched by the biofeedback.
Is it our guy? Is it our doppelganger?
Yeah. You put them in there, and they have managed to pull it out. But they've said they don't know if they can. I mean, most people would have stopped by now and walked away with their winnings. A 5th night might kill them, but they will do it. And so they will head down in the arena to do that. They don't have names anymore. You probably have a number, code number for them, a serial number. That's probably what they work by. Their name is Legion, you know. So let's look at the engagement roll for this and figure out where things are when we start here. Turning my page here. So everybody choose your item loadout. Whether you want to go light so you can blend in, medium, a little more questionable, or heavy, meaning that you're armed for bear.
And we're going to be killing everyone?
I had the impression that you were going to try to kill everyone.
Yeah, maybe I'll go normal.
Well, like we're gonna try and have them kill each other. We're just the cleanup crew.
Okay. And normal is like suspicious, right?
You know, people will go, "Oh wow, that guy has clearly shit is about to go down."
I guess I'll go light.
Okay, Anubis is going heavy.
I guess I'll borrow some stuff if I need it.
Okay. All right. So, is this operation particularly bold or daring? Yes. Is it contingent on? Is it complex or contingent on manufacturing? No, you just want to kill people. That seems pretty basic. Okay. Does the plan's detail expose vulnerability of the target? I think so. You looked into it, so that's a third die. I don't think they have particular. Well, they do. The boss does know about this, and we established that as a fact. So I think we go back down to 2 dice. Do any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? Well, obviously the cohort does. So that's a third die on that. But I don't think you have any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation. Anything else that you think stands as an advantage? If not, Anubis, roll 3 dice.
And that is a 6.
That is a 6. So it's raining here. Of course it is. It is pouring down, which has meant that even a lot of the Red Yakuza soldiers that might be the foot soldiers that might be out on the streets have kind of packed in to the karaoke place to stay out of the rain. And it is in the midst of that these local gang members start hitting at a giant and start causing him upset. And they have the plans that you've kind of given them to make it look like it's probably coming from Asvin or someone like that. And so within very short time, Giant's people are probably hitting some of Asvin's people on the street. Word hasn't gotten back to HQ, but it is definitely, you know, we will cut to various scenes of yaks pulling out electro clubs and vibro blades and, you know, running each other through on the street. No guns. It's all knives and sticks and punches, but it's still laying people out. All of that in the rain that is coming down. So when we focus in, you guys are in a controlled situation. So where are you, Anubis, to take advantage of this?
I am up on a rooftop with a weapon, ready to start picking off lieutenants.
Okay. So are you going to try and assassinate Jayant or Asvin?
Um, whose side looks like they're winning currently?
It looks like one of the things being is that Asvin actually has more people out on the street because Jan's a little less disciplined. So a lot more of his people are in the karaoke place. Once word gets there, the power thing may shift, but Asvin probably has the edge right now.
All right. Well, need to take the general out so that it turns into a slaughter and nobody necessarily realizes they should do any kind of tactical retreat. So yeah, I'm going to go for
Okay.
Asvin.
So we see that you've been pacing Asvin, kind of watching where he's at on the street. He's now, talking to his lieutenants. He's clearly about to send some people to the karaoke place to pass on this info. And you're gonna try and gun him down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's aim.
Yeah.
What is your weapon? What do we see about that?
So he's pulling out a unique weapon in this circumstance.
Okay.
It's,
And what is that?
it looks kind of like classic bit of anime. There, it looks like somebody decided to go nuts with like a Gatling gun, but instead of firing bullets, it's got arrow shafts in it with explosive heads.
Okay.
Because I don't want the gunshot to say, "Hey, look up." I want the boom when it hits to go, "What happened over there?"
Okay. So you mark that weapon, so that'll give you potency.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to the potency you already have.
All right. What would a devil's bargain look like?
Oh, a devil's bargain would be that one of these guys would get and tip off the boss.
Let's hold off on that one for right now. Let's just see how this strike goes.
Okay.
Yeah, this time.
All right. So that's 2 dice. Now you do have a gambit on the table that you could use. Gives you an extra die if you spend it.
Anybody object? All right.
Then let's have you roll 3d6. Do you want to push it too? I mean, you can always do that too.
Well, what am I at for position and effect? I'm a control.
So right now you're controlled. Great effect.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
With 3 dice.
Okay. What do you say? There's no possible chance?
Oh, there's no way this could go wrong.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. That's a 5.
That is a 5. So we will see you bring that locket into place. There'll be that whine as the gun gets powered up. And it's probably one of those mag launchers, because the shafts have metal in them, so it's creating that Gauss field and it's firing the arrows out at high speed. And we will see those hit, and we see him get pierced by them. An explosion goes down, and it gets pierced a couple times, and we see him in slow motion grabbing at the arrow shafts, and we hear the somber music as he dies this noble yak death in the street, and then the arrowheads explode and blow his body to pieces. But I do think that once those range things go off, the explosion, that there are a couple of people there that do have guns, and there is some return fire, and you're going to get hit unless you like to resist that.
Yeah, I'd like to resist that.
Okay, then I think that's going to be strike to resist the return fire.
All right. And that is a 6.
Oh yeah, so no stress as you drop down behind the little bunker that you've made. I assume the gun does that thing where it auto collapses down like into a briefcase.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Completely collapses down, just looks like a lunchbox, that sort of thing. Yep.
Absolutely. Even as Asvin Phoenix noble career is just been ended on the streets. Where's the camera find you, Cypher?
Oh man, I mean,
Brienne.
no, I I mean, it's funny because my goal was like, all right, I'm gonna focus on Asvin because that's like my ploy, and I just see him go down, and I go, all right, what is the next line on the agenda? Because now I need to start improvising. I had this whole thing planned out, and now he's dead, which is great. I'm happy that he's dead, but I'm having a little bit of.
So you get a couple choices here.
Yeah.
And certainly don't forget, one of the things you can always flash back to preparations,
Mhm.
anything like that. You have Giant and his people are still out there, and now they're going to be essentially getting their advantage in the streets. But then you've got all those people in the Karaoke battle zone.
Great. Okay, I think then I did not stack myself out for a fight, but that is okay in this scenario, and I think I'm going to go ahead and turn towards. I think I'm kind of just positioned behind a building, right where just right in the line of fire for Giant, and I want to basically pull out a unique weapon of my own and get on him.
You want to take him down, huh?
I mean, let's just throw everything into chaos.
Absolutely. Giant's there. He's got this baseball bat. He's got an eye patch on. Rain is pouring down. He is laughing maniacally, and he is working it. And what is this unique weapon that you pull out? What do we see?
Basically, I pull on. I mean, I think it's basically it's a gun, basically like a sniper rifle of sorts. But what I actually do is that the focus on it, I put on these shades, and basically like it augments my overlays so that it lines up completely with the gun, and basically allows me to just have complete focus. It almost like there's like a tunnel vision.
What we call smart linked. Yeah, absolutely. Got that lined up there. It is on it. So is this one of those times when you're using your compensate?
Absolutely. Yeah.
A unique weapon will give you potency. So we're risky, potent.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
could push yourself, or I could offer you a devil's bargain.
I'm gonna push myself.
Get your eye hacked.
Oh God. Fine. What's the devil's bargain?
I think the devil's bargain is going to be that there are some of Giant's loyal people here, and I think that you're going to get that sniper shot and take him out, but you're going to get stabbed.
Part of me is like, no, I don't want to take that, but the other part of me is like, where's the fun in not taking it?
What's it going to be?
Do you also want my help as a forward observer, since we have that crude
Yeah.
Just
to give you teamwork.
So I think actually what I'm going to do is I'll take the teamwork, but I will also push myself.
Oh, okay. So that is going to be 5 dice.
Yeah. Okay.
There's almost no chance.
Lol. Lol. I hear those words and
I know.
My level of anxiety like jumps. It's a whole hoop. Okay. Yeah, let's just roll these and then I'll. Okay, so and then. All right, that's a 5.
That is a 5. So is this thing quiet? Is it subtle, or is this make a point?
The sound of the shot itself is completely silent. It's the impact, where it's not even the impact. It's basically it makes contact, and yeah, let's make it interesting. It basically injects like this cybernetic disease into him that just completely overwhelms his entire nervous system.
Yeah, it hits. It's kind of like a pellet kind of impact, and within seconds, all of his implants and subdermal and all of that goes haywire. And we will see where he's got like a smart eye. We'll see smoke start pouring out of that, and he will spin around. But then you'll realize he's more armed than you expected, and you see that he's got this grenade in his hand.
Oh shit!
And it goes up. And essentially, this flare grenade goes off, and you're going to take a level 1 harm blinded.
Okay.
As it overloads your compensators.
How do I mark that?
So you would put blinded in the box under 1 of harm.
Okay. Cool.
Now you could resist that.
Okay. How do I resist that?
So you spent 2 stress to push yourself. So you're good. Resisting it means you would roll either source. I think it would actually be weaken here. And you'd roll that many dice. And we'd see what your highest one is, subtract that from 6, and that's how much stress you take to resist being blinded.
Okay. Yeah, I'll resist.
Okay.
And so that I'd roll 3 dice?
I'd say 3 dice because weaken because you were in hiding there.
Yeah. Okay. So
if you fired a gun that blew his head off, I might go for strike for your resist there.
Yeah. Subtlety is my strong suit.
Yeah.
All right, that's a 5.
It's a 5, so you take 1 stress, and as you essentially you hit the compensators that shut down your eyes briefly, so it doesn't overload your optic nerves. You hack your own eyes.
I hacked him. I hacked my eyes. I hack everyone's eyes.
All right. Let's cut to the sound of Jean Regret Rien. They're belting it out, as you said, Darren, Bashi. Where are you at? You heard the word that both lieutenants are down.
I'm not even in this tomfoolery. Because in the flashback, we see me putting on this like lowly tier 1 Yakuza goon outfit, and I am in the headquarters waiting for the message to run my strike on the rogue herself.
So are you holding position, or now is it now that you want to do it with
Yeah, what do we think? Was the lieutenant's going down our signal? That seems like a good signal.
Yeah. I think as I hack my own eyes to like keep myself from being blinded, like the last thing that I type out before it briefly goes out for a moment is like you just get like, because the way I think that I communicate the best is like I literally like text with my eyes, and so I just go like I just get out quick now in like all caps.
Yeah, I think you see Bashi like.
So you and Aurora are on site then, right?
You with me, Aurora?
You and Aurora are in the club?
We're at the karaoke bar?
Yeah, I assume so.
That's
Karaoke
right.
arena. Let's be specific.
I don't know the difference, but I'm there.
Imagine that we've got the stands around. Of course, there's the wire cage, and then they've got their setups there that they're doing their songs, and they're battling back and forth. There's a holographic projection to represent the voting that's going on for their various things, and they're taking biofeedback depending on how they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Plugged into the karaoke machine.
Oh shit. Okay, so that's why they're in cages.
Yeah, they're down there in the middle of this arena. Cage is kind of keeping it back so nobody can run in and save them.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sure, I'll be there. That sounds like a neat place. Bisexual lighting everywhere.
All right, absolutely. So Bashi, Aurora, who wants to start this butchery?
Aurora, now's the time. We've got the call.
Yeah.
I want to go just straight for the rogue though. Have a pinpoint strike, like I guess we've been doing the whole time.
So you want to try and kill the big boss?
And I'll
Wow.
help by
Mhm.
murdering everybody else.
Okay.
How would you start, and then that's sort of like the chaos that erupts out of that's my cover?
Oh, sure, like a setup action. Oh,
That'd be perfect because otherwise potency is going to be reduced because she is bodyguarded.
right, that makes sense. And I got potency with your attacks are more swift and precise.
All right. So tell me what this looks like, Aurora.
Yeah, I think.
When you started, and imagine this is a crowded arena.
Yeah, I think I. At first, the camera doesn't see like who the person is. I'm dressed in something like not very revealing at the moment, like a big trench coat and stuff, and I make my way to the center of it, of like the massive crowd and close to maybe the bodyguards because they probably have the best seats, right, to see this cage action stuff. And I think I just throw off my trench coat, and I got the classics like Boondock Saints. I've got rows of guns down my chest and on my sides and stuff, and I just take them out and start headshotting people.
So is that like the are you using on your loadout the needler or the brace of shuriken?
Interesting. Maybe the shuriken. That'd be
Okay.
cool.
So
Seen that on TV before.
there's a ninja movie that was out a few years ago, directed by the guy written by the guy who did Babylon 5.
Oh.
And you should watch it because A, it is the goriest thing ever, and B, whenever shuriken hit, it is like thunk, 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 thunk. It's louder than gunshots. It's great fun.
Oh.
So we will see you leap up, shuriken in your hands, and these what makes these tech shuriken unique?
I think that they're like homing. So what happens is I like throw them up towards the cages and it looks like maybe I'm about to hit them, but then they circle back around and point of view of the camera and go zooming at like other people's faces and shit.
So that is aim.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay.
So right now it's risky, great potency.
Okay. I want to No, I was gonna say I was like, let's make it desperate, but I don't want to do that for a set of action to Darren. I'll push myself.
Okay. Two stress.
What happens if we push it for extreme effect?
Well, then not only will you do the setup action, you're going to butcher a good number of the crowd, like double D dead.
Oh, that's probably not good though, right? Is it good? Are we trying to
I
kill
thought
the
you were
crowd?
trying to kill all these Yakuza.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like bystanders. It's like, oh.
No one in here is innocent.
Oh.
No one in here is innocent.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, I take 2 stress. I'm rolling 3 dice for my aim. Is there a devil's bargain?
Yeah, I think it's that you're going to get pulled down to the ground because there are going to be a few survivors.
Oh. And that'll happen no matter what, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to kill everybody.
You got 3 dice. I mean, odds are pretty good that you're going to be fine.
Right. Okay, I'll not accept that and do 3 dice.
Let's see it.
Shazam. 4.
That is a 4. So I think we will see those leap out and then start to cut through the crowd. And You're running through, catching them, throwing them again. By about the third time you're throwing some of these, they're covered with gore. When they come back to your hand, there's the blood kind of splashes off. But then I do think that as you are moving up, one of these Yakuza gets up and they've got a katana and they bring it up and slash it across your side for 2 harm.
And I resist with my subdermal plating.
Oh, yeah. So it costs you 1 stress, so it'll be just 1 harm.
Oh, what should I name that? Oh, can I use armor then too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Oh, and I have 3. So I'm. Is armor 2 boxes? It only says 1.
It's only 1. It's 1
Oh.
R box, and then if you take heavy, you have it does more.
Okay, excellent. So I'll do that then.
So it literally brings it up, and this thing ought to cut through you. Like it ought to slice through your side, but it just bounces, and you can see this look on his face of just the oh shit, even as the shuriken hit him in the face. Chaos erupts, blood everywhere. Never gonna give you up. You hear that from the center, and everything is going on, and you can see that right now. It looks like Rogue is, she's getting her bodyguards up, and she is trying to get out of the situation. Doesn't know who is attacking. But she knows this is not Yakuza style. And she is trying to get everybody out. So tell me what you do, Bashi.
As one more thing of coloring,
Sure.
maybe just like in Blade Runner 2049, the entertainment system messes up and it starts playing like all these different songs and stuff.
Oh yeah, like it's fritzing and cross-cutting in them. Yeah, absolutely. Bashi.
I think she's like getting up with her bodyguards to leave, I want to run up and in this like Yakuza disguise I'm wearing, like, Lady Benja, there's a back entrance this way, follow me. We'll just guide her out into her doom.
Okay, are you leading her out so you can let loose with your blast at her?
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. The setup that has been done. I mean, you guys have coordinated, so I think that Aurora has kind of left a path that you can lead through, and essentially we'll see you running down the hallway. What is the turning moment?
I think we're running down this hallway and we come out into a back alley or something like that. And I think it's right then, like, she goes out, the 2 bodyguards go out, and maybe the 2 bodyguards like go ahead right in the alleyway to like guard the front of it and like scout it out. And then I like walk through the door behind her, and with her clear my sights, maybe like right when she like turns to look at me, that's when I pop it off and surprise her with it.
All right, so go ahead. You have surprise, risky, great effect right now.
Ooh, and my surprise on my psionic blast gets me potency.
So right now you're risky, gonna kill her. Period.
Okay. I'm gonna spend 2 stress to get an extra dice. I'm gonna
3
push
dice
myself for that. Oh, what's your devil's bargain?
Oh, the devil's bargain is that she gets a look at you, and she downloads a clip to the Yak network.
Oh yeah, I'm taking that. That's real good.
Okay.
Can I help?
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, how do you help?
Well, I'd like to basically hack her. That if she tries to pull that off, it's going to go Fritzy.
Well, now the devil's bargain definitely goes off.
Oh,
So
definitely happens. Okay.
But you can actually, when she opens up that channel to do that, you can hack at that point and give him an extra die.
Yes, that is exactly what I will do. So how much stress do I need to take?
You spend 1 stress. Darren spends 2 stress. 4 dice are rolled.
4 dice.
There's almost no chance that you could terribly fail at this.
You know, I know. Reroll. I got a 6. I got 2 6s.
What does it look like? What does a critical success with this look like? Is it Scanner's level, or is it super quiet?
I breach space time and I blow her up as a baby. No, I think it's got to be Scanner's level. I think I think it's got to be Scanner's level. I think as soon as she makes that eye contact with me, blood just starts pouring out of her eyes, and then soon enough her head pops and the alleyway is scattered in blood.
Sprays, and with double 6s, you don't even get caught in the gore.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bodyguards turn around and they look. They don't see you anymore. You've vanished. You run back in. It's all you hear is the sound of the playback and dripping inside the karaoke bar. And the 4 of you can meet up, and you effectively eliminated this entire yak. There are a handful of essentially street people that will flee back to their original neighborhoods, but you have cleared this up, and you can raid their offices. So in terms of what you're going to get as a cell, you're going to get the edge info, and you also get 4 secrets. So each of you can get a secret. That was a little loud, would you not say? So I'm going to bump that up 4. We will deal with that next time in terms of entanglements, rolling that. I want to do XP here. And then if you wouldn't mind, I would like to do some stars and wishes. Oh, people at home, you're not reading the chat. It got dark. So you achieved your cell's agenda. Do you think you bolstered your team's reputation or developed a new one?
Did that thing go off with the person exploding at the end?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Bloody and violent. And you did contend with challenges above your station. So you're at 7 points on advancing your cell.
Nice.
Let's come to XP. Let's come to Cypher.
Hello.
So you mark XP when you roll a desperate action. Did you address a challenge with planning or calculation?
Does that downtime thing count from when I basically...
Yeah.
Yeah, with the club. It was either that or basically when I went to Verushka and was like, hey, I need information on like the higher ups and how we can pit them against each other.
Okay, so I'll give you a point for that.
Cool.
Did we learn something about you?
The most I could pull at was what my cover life is like.
Yeah. So I'll give you a point for that. And then you also get another point because you struggled with issues from your cover/personal life.
Yep.
But you didn't have any issues with your vice or trauma.
No, surprisingly, for all the setup and buildup I put into that, I'm handling things rather well.
And so remember, at those points, those ticks can go anywhere. They can go on the source weaken or strike, or they can go on the playbook checks.
Cool.
Anubis, did you address a tough challenge with violence or tracking?
Yeah, I think so. Just
Oh,
a little bit of violence.
Yep. So I'll give you a point for that. Do you think we learned something about you?
Well, we got that he definitely has a bit for respecting elders and that sort of thing.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I'll give you a point for that. And you definitely had issues from your personal life. So I'll give you a point for that.
All right.
Nothing from vice or traumas.
Nope.
And then we come to Bashi. Did you address a challenge with deception or influence?
I think so.
Yes. Give you a point. Did we learn something about you?
Yes, definitely. All that boots and stuff.
Oh yeah. And did we hit issues from your cover or personal life?
No.
I actually think yes, because I talked you into.
Oh, Tekla. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So I'll give you a point for that.
I'll gladly take it.
And no vice or traumas. Which brings us to Aurora. Aurora, did you address a challenge with violent? Yeah, yes, there we go.
Yeah, I did that.
Did we learn something about you?
I think so. A bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So that's a point for that. And lastly, you definitely score a point for dealing with issues from your personal life.
Yeah, that was fun and stressful.
So next time we'll take up with downtime and go through that. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to do, since you're just short one on your cell advancement, I'll go ahead and give you that last tick. And next time we'll let you make a pick on those. So if you don't mind, I would like to do the stars and wishes, so we can have a sense. What you like about the game, the hack, the things, what you're thinking of it right now, how you're feeling about that. Fraser, can I start with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do stars first, and then we'll come around and do wishes.
Stars. Okay. I think the fiction is really rich. Like, I wouldn't say I'm super familiar with the fiction that this comes from, and neither was I familiar with Blades, but I grok this a lot faster. And yeah, I liked everybody's scenes, and in a short time we got a ton of stuff about all of the players, and I really liked the dinner scene and all that. Yeah, I like that a lot. There's lots of evocative stuff on the playbooks that help out with the setting, I think, a lot. And yeah, it seems like it's pretty easy to get from the drift from Blades.
Mhm.
Like everything makes sense and seems to flow properly. Yeah, I think the only thing that I had a problem with really was just trying to figure out what skill it was. Skill.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We'll come back on wishes, because one of the things I felt bad is we didn't get to your bike.
Oh,
We didn't see it on screen today after you did all that stuff getting your bike.
Well, I mean, anticipation.
Owen, stars?
I really am just enjoying the way that this is stitching together all the various different pieces of material and all that, because some of it at first glance, you could see that it's like, okay, that doesn't quite link together. But then the way we all just kind of flow together as to why we're working together, a certain level of spirituality and understanding and that sort of deal. So no, I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I'm just enjoying the scene setting and watching the characters interact. And I really love the cover identity option for the downtime, for that little bit of free play downtime sort of thing going, because it was just amazing just to watch everybody, just those of us who did dig into that sort of thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was super cool. Peter?
Yeah. So I really gotta agree with Fraser, just in the sense that I have only vague familiarity with Blades in the Dark, but I'm catching on very quickly with this, and part of that's just I think having a bit more grounding in the understanding of like ninjas, and there just seems to be more of a built-in like we need to work together and play off of each other type deal, and just a big star to everyone for really playing into that. It I think one of my favorite things about this is that there's like we may all be in this for different reasons, but I feel like every single person sort of either plays off of each other or plays into it really well, and it made total sense for me to just kind of like want to help the characters at different points and go, okay, here's where we do this and here's where we do that. And yeah, all the scenes that we got to like between the dinner scene that we all got to kind of play off of each other together and the individual stuff where we were really digging into things. Like I have a lot of investment in these characters already, and so seeing them succeed and then also seeing them kind of fail at different times is really going to be something going forward. So
Yeah.
I'm super into it.
Darren?
Major star for that, for running with apparently Bashi's very kitsune side. I didn't expect to run this character as like a little bit of a trickster, but it works. I like it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And star for that insane karaoke arena murder ball, I guess. I don't know. Very Kill Bill in with Cyberpunk Ninjas. That was really great. And then also another star for the dinner scene. That was super great. I really enjoyed it. So that was awesome. Everyone bought into it. Yeah, I'm also really into all these characters. I'm looking for more chances to like tease these conversations out with my little trickster character, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely want to say stars. I appreciate you, all of you, going into that because it's not necessarily a part of Blades, but it is fun, and all of you, and it generated great content for us. I mean, it felt good, and then that dinner scene felt like the sort of perfect culmination of those interactions in some ways. So wishes, things you want to see more of, things you have questions about, Fraser?
The only thing that I can think of is some of the skills. It's hard to parse initially what action you're doing is going to fall into it. But I think that's kind of normal for all Blades games, so I'm not sure
Okay.
if that's even super big problem.
If you had to point to one or two that you're still maybe uncertain about.
Alter is
Okay.
a little bit confusing to me, and otherwise, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think it's mostly just the same thing with all the Forge games where you have to get used to skills and also that they're like interpretive and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a fair assessment. Thank you. Owen, wishes, thoughts?
As far as the system mechanics thing, Fraser got to the one that I was going to point out, was just trying to, I enjoy the flavor of the comments, but sometimes, reading some of it, just trying to figure out, okay, which one is, especially just when I was going, oh, I got an extra dot, where do I want to put it? Sort of thing.
Okay.
So that was as far as on the mechanics side. But as far as like the game side and all that, yeah, I want a bit more of a scene between, just talking to Aurora more, because I want to see what happens when Anubis potentially suggests a solution to help her father get better.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, we'll try and do some more cross-cut scenes next time. That's a good point. Peter?
I mean, yeah, I was actually like, I'm not even making this up. I was genuinely going to suggest sort of the same one thing, and because I did the training during my downtime, that kind of got me that extra point, and I couldn't figure out whether to put like an extra dot in command or put one in alter. And the reason I chose command is because I couldn't parse exactly what I could do with alter. And so I just kind of went with like, well, let me reinforce something I know instead of like, if it really comes down to it and I use alter once, well, I've got compensate, so I can.
That makes sense. No, I think that's a really good point. Anything else?
I mean, as far as the characters go, just more interactions. I actually really like sort of the subtle kind of closeness or something between Cypher and Bashi, and I like kind of the playoff of that, the trickster and sort of the mastermind kind of. That can't possibly make things go crazy awful, but I think there's more of that, and just getting more. Yeah, exactly. Fox and the Crow, and it's and really just more scenes with like any of the PCs.
Okay.
I mean, you know, the bottle blowing up in my face from Aurora was amazing, and I was sad that I did not get to actually see. I not get to see Anubis try and eat someone because I you know, it was a really memorable first, like, oh, that's what you're about, and me just going, I'm gonna turn my head. So yeah, and just more of that, but yeah, it'll happen.
Awesome. Darren, I'm going to give you last word.
Okay. My wish is I want to return to the man whose brain we brought back.
Okay.
I do want to pick up on that thread again, and I will certainly do my part to aim that way instead of just like, hey, what if we take down a gang? And then yeah, definitely more character interaction stuff. I think we seem to do the like in media res planning of stuff pretty well, so I definitely want to lean more into that, so I think that went really well.
I was very happy because you came in with no, I'm gonna hit my mic, with no like, okay, we're gonna do some of the Yakuza, and I think you very quickly found your niche and what you wanted to do, and boom. So I felt like you guys did a great job with that. All right, well, that's our show. I'm going to stop the broadcast.